On the fly, man.
We're both shaking. Did you see that? We were both. We both finished our workout and we're like,
yeah,
still feeling the
bro. The caffeine is strong with this one.
Do I do the intro for this one?
I mean, it's on the fly. Yeah, why not?
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the podcast where sometimes we fuck up and we had to resend out another order. So we hope you enjoy this one because that's just the industry perspective.
Yeah.
That was on the fly.
Yeah, that was on the fly.
That's the
I like
premise.
that. That was good.
That's the whole premise of this episode.
Yeah. So, what's up, motherfuckers? Should start.
Yeah.
We apologize for this week's episode being late.
Shit happens.
It does happen.
I don't apologize.
But like a good little worker, I got to go up to the table and be like, "Hey, sorry, guys."
Yeah.
We, as I'm sure everyone has noticed, sometimes we've had some audio issues since we moved the pod back into the house. But we feel like we finally got that figured out.
Fucking hope so, man.
Yeah.
Tired of losing good shit. We didn't lose it, but we just don't feel comfortable putting out because that's not what you guys deserve.
Exactly.
We're here to give you what you fucking deserve.
Yeah. So fucking take that shit.
Yeah.
And you're getting ready to go to work.
I am.
And I actually have a day off.
Yeah.
For once. But in true industry fashion, I'm getting called in for a shift tomorrow that I was supposed to be off.
But you said today.
No.
You looked at your phone or whatever.
Please no. Like I really need a day off, man.
So-and-so's car broke down. Happens a lot. Y'all cars be breaking down. Coworkers, sometimes your cars be breaking down a little too much. I'm not throwing shade or anything like that, but it's a little suspicious and convenient. Your car breaks down on a nice day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a beach day.
Sure it does. Yeah. I'm sure. And there's some people out there that are listening like, I know who you're talking about. I'm not talking about specifically. It happens all the time.
I'm going to have to stand up because I'm sinking rapidly. It is what it is. I got enough caffeine in my system anyway.
That does happen. And it's funny as hell. And it's always the same person too.
Yeah.
Everybody has that coworker that their car breaks down or something happens. They get a flat and it's the most convenient day for it. Especially at the beginning of the summer. Because that's where we're at right now.
Right. Well, no, spring.
There's no spring in Los Angeles. Be real.
Every day is spring in Los Angeles.
But there's no real spring. It's just like Chicago. There's summer and winter. There's no fall or spring. There's like maybe a day or two, maybe a week, but that's really it. This is probably the closest we'll get to spring this weekend. And then Monday,
I say spring has sprung. I'm going to call it spring.
It's sprung.
Yeah, spring has sprung. We're going to call it spring. LA is in spring now.
Okay.
And you should know your cocktails better. We'll call the weather a cocktail.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a terrible segue. Anyway, we had to get to the topics here. We were rambling a bit. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is that I'm noticing a lot of people when they're coming up to order have no idea what traditional cocktails are or stuff like that. Yes. The main one that happens to me is whiskey sour.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before I touch on the whiskey sour, I told you this.
Okay.
But I had a dude order a Tom Collins from me, and then I garnished it with, we didn't have a lemon peel, so I just did a lemon wedge. That's all we had. Even when we paid for it, and he's like, "Oh, can I also get a cherry?" And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah." Like Tom Collins usually gets a cherry, and I'm like, "Sure, dude.
Yeah.
If you say so."
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but I was like, Google this, and I'm like,
let me Google that shit.
Well, you can, but I don't. Traditionally speaking, they never really put maraschino cherries on there. But again, sure, dude, if you fucking want a cherry, you get a cherry. You already paid. I don't care.
Just say you want a cherry. Don't tell me that it comes with a cherry. I had someone do not that with the garnish thing, but a couple weeks ago, I think I mentioned this to you. Someone ordered a gimlet, and this happens a lot. They're like, "Oh, can I get a gimlet?" And I'm like, "Okay, which kind?" Which one tastes better? They taste the same to me. A gimlet's a gimlet.
Yeah.
But he looked at me with this smug look and he's like, "Well, isn't it gin?" I was like, "Well, also be vodka." And then I just walked away and he was like, "Don't be smug with me, motherfucker. You came to me. All right. This is what I do, not what you do. Learn your fucking cocktails." And a whiskey sour has egg white. If it's not an egg white, then it's a fucking whiskey lemonade.
And that's what happened to me last night. Somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, can I get a whiskey sour?" I'm like, "We don't have egg whites or foam." He's like, "Oh, I don't want it with that." I replied,
"You don't want a whiskey
sour?" I was like, "So you want a whiskey lemonade?" He's like, "Yeah." I mean, he was cool about it, but in my mind, I'm like, that's not a whiskey sour. The whiskey sour gets egg white or some kind of foam. You need that froth on top because you layer it, you put it, some bitters on top. And you do a little cool design if you're artistic enough.
If you're artistic enough.
I'm not. I just do like a little squiggly.
Oh, man, I try to do something different every time I do a whiskey sour. But it's mostly because I'm challenging myself. Like, because you can't get the bitters to go the way you want it to go.
Yeah.
What can I turn this into in a small amount of time?
You know what I do? More specifically for, I do it for guys. Sometimes if like a girl, if I catch the right vibe, I'll do the Sharingan from Naruto, which is basically like a design in the eyeball. Yeah. It's like the dots. And then
I've done that on accident a few times.
I'll do the Sharingan sometimes. So, and if people catch it, like, and I'm like, I'll do that. But
only on accident have I gotten that.
Oh, no, I usually do it. I usually do it to the guys I think are nerds, and they'll get it, and they usually do appreciate it.
Here, you look like a fucking nerd.
Yeah, you fucking nerd out here drinking whiskey sours and
cocktail.
Fucking. Speaking of cocktails, man, I learned not too long ago that a Americano is also a cocktail. It's just Campari and vermouth, and maybe sometimes a splash of soda, depending on the person. So
I haven't heard that in a long time.
It's red vermouth and Campari.
I haven't heard that in a long time because I just hear Americano as coffee all the time.
And the place I'm going to go to work at now, we have an espresso machine. So when somebody asks me for that, I'm like, and then they say the cocktail. I'm like, oh, okay. I go from like, fuck to, oh, yeah, I got you for sure. I'll go make the best one I can.
I remember I worked at a place last summer for a couple months. You remember that? And I was helping some friends out. They were like, oh, we need another bartender. I'm like, I just quit one of my jobs. Cool. I got some free time. I was like, I'm not going to stay long though. And they're like, oh, that's cool.
That place.
Yeah, that place. And then after I signed the paperwork and fucking read the work there and I come in on my first shift, then they're like, oh, you have to operate the espresso machine. And I'm like, motherfucker, for what? A bartender, not a fucking barista.
Yeah. And for people that say like, well, just like should be part of your job, it's like, no, we've talked about this. Right. We've already discussed it. It's like, no, they're two separate things. Coffee drinkers are very particular, just like wine drinkers. So like, we don't do that. Nah, keep it separate.
Don't cross swords.
Nah, not on that one.
Cross swords on that. You either make coffee or you make cocktails. Don't make both.
But speaking of,
you're right. We have talked about that. Shout out to the baristas out there. I'm not talking shit about what you do. It's just I don't know how to do what you do.
Exactly.
And therefore, I shouldn't be forced to try.
Nope.
But you were about to say.
Yeah. Speaking of like knowing cocktails too, know what you order and know how much it costs.
Or because, have a ballpark idea.
Yeah, because if you order something that's top shelf, i.e. 1942, which if you've heard it in a song, you know, heard your favorite rapper, musician, whoever talk about it, it's gonna be expensive. Does that mean it's good? No. So
not always,
you hear Casamigos in a song, you hear 1942 in a song. I don't think I've heard Ciroc in a song in a long time.
Not in a long time. I heard it on a song yesterday, but the song's a couple years.
Okay. Well, yeah. So if you let that be your gauge. If you hear it on a song, it's gonna be expensive. So if you order 1942, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, you got some money. All right, I'm not expecting a tip, but I am going to judge you.
I'm not expecting zero.
I'm not expecting zero.
That's the difference. I'm not expecting a big tip, but I'm not expecting zero either.
For sure.
Like, what I'm expecting is somewhere in between.
Yeah, somewhere between 1 and whatever.
Yeah.
1 is fine. So I had this lady order a 1942 for me, but in a margarita. Why you would do that, I don't know. It's an añejo. So why you would want to put añejo in it's like putting a fucking scotch in a Gold Rush or a fucking penicillin. Like taking something that is supposed to be by itself on the rocks or neat for the most time, like a 12-year scotch or some shit like that. And then you just throw sugar and citrus. It's like, well, just order from the well. You clearly don't want to taste the spirit.
Yeah. So if you're going to buy something that costs $40, $50, $60 a shot, you really shouldn't be mixing it with anything.
Yeah, and that means you really
of how
don't
we
like
feel
it.
about what that spirit might be,
Mhm.
whether it's a 42 or a Zool or something like that. If you're gonna pay that much money for it, you should at least taste it.
Yeah,
Don't mix it with
yeah.
something
Just
else.
put it in get something from the well in your margarita because you clearly don't care about the taste of the spirit because you need
Right.
something to mix it in with to drink it. So just order that. So she ordered that and Liquid Death, and the total was like $61 and big old zero with the cross through it. And I'm like, you broke bitch.
And
And
that's
I'm sorry,
after,
but
and that's after you had someone tip you 30 cents on the tab too.
yeah. Somebody ordered 5 drinks, 4 like 2 shots, and then like 2 or 3 cocktails, 2 shots of Don Julio Blanco, and the total was 65.70, and at the total bottom where she writes in was $66. I'd rather you just put a 0, honestly, or say, hey, fuck you, and then just hand me the. Don't give me your 30 cents. Clearly, you fucking need it, you broke motherfucker. Like,
Yeah,
you
just
gotta,
don't sign the receipt.
my
Just don't sign
God,
the
do
receipt.
not
That's
give us
the
your
easiest
fucking
way.
pennies.
The easiest way to not tip is not sign the fucking receipt.
Yeah.
Hey, we're
if
not
you
going to
didn't
fill in
wanna tip-
anything. We don't know your fucking
And
signature.
I get some people who are like, oh, I just want to round it out so it bounces in my bank account. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
You want to
don't do
round
that
it
shit
out
to me.
You want to round it out so it balances?
Like,
Like,
round out and catch a roundhouse. That's what's gonna happen. Fuck, man, that shit blew the fuck out of me. I'm mad you just made me.
I'm gonna round this out because of my low balance. Like, I need to know exactly how much money I have when I
Yeah.
leave this bar because
Jesus Christ.
I'm broke as fuck and I should have stayed home.
Yeah, like
If you don't got no money, stay your broke ass home, please. But also, if you were gonna fucking order a 42 or something like that, and then you want to mix it with something, how about you talk to your bartender and say, well, how much is this as a shot?
yeah,
And then when you hear it's like 50 something, think in your mind how many other drinks you could get with that same amount of money.
at least
Instead of
3,
one drink,
at least 2,
you can get at least 2, depending on what you
maybe
get.
3.
But if you're ordering, like, say you're just ordering a well margarita, that's not that expensive.
No,
You can get like 3 or 4 of those depending on the place you're at.
Yeah.
3 if you're gonna leave a good tip.
absolutely. But the
3.
thing is, too, it's like it's just not. It's like, what was my train of thought? I fucking forgot it. I had it. I literally had it. It was on the cusp. Fuck, man. You were saying something about fucking, well, margaritas. Fuck, I lost it. I literally had it. I need to like write shit down whenever I think about it. I was about to go off.
I see that.
And then my
Like,
brain
I
was
can, I can
like,
see the frustration. I can see
fuck.
the frustration, but that's fine.
I was
Maybe
about
it'll
to
come back to you.
circle back.
Maybe
about
it'll
the
come back to you,
margarita,
man. Don't even worry about it like that. I will say though, regardless of what you're ordering or how much it costs,
There we go. Thank you. Cost.
there
Yes.
you go.
If you order something and you get the bill and it's like, damn, $66.
Sticker shock.
I can't afford this. Be like, hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't know how much it costs. Can I get something else? The business got to eat that shot, but
I'm
at
not
least
leaning over so much.
I know, like, hey, you're smart enough to realize you can't pay for this and tip because you're not a shitty person. So you're gonna order something cheaper. That way you can tip because you're a good person.
Yeah.
That was all I was
Know
trying
how
to get
much
to.
money you have.
Yeah, it's okay to be like, hey, you know what? I can't afford this. We'll do the refund. It might be a little annoying process, but shit, if it means I get a tip at the end of this transaction,
but
then
let's be honest. Most of the people who ask for a refund don't on anything, whatever.
True.
No matter what they get
True.
next, they're just like, nah, I've already shown my brokenness. Just gonna move on.
and we're not gonna judge you, honestly. If you ask us
I'm
how
gonna
much
judge you. Don't speak for me. I'm judging the
if
fuck
you
out
ask
of
how much something costs, that's better than getting the bill and be like, dude, what the fuck? Why is it so much? Because
Right.
you ordered top shelf, dumbass.
Right,
The
right.
fuck? That's why it's called top shelf. It's up there for you to see so you can spend more money on it. You want the bottom shelf, it's there so you don't see what the bottle looks like and you just knock it back.
Yeah.
That's why it's called top shelf. Because it's
If
on
my
the
short ass has to reach up to grab it, it costs money.
Yeah.
If I gotta do this, that's gonna cost some money, my guy. Just know that.
Absolutely.
Just know that. But if I gotta do this and make your no matter whether I'm doing this or doing something else, if I'm making your drink and you know you've already ordered it, when I get back, that is not the time for you to go find my wallet.
yeah,
let me find my card.
Oh my
Especially when they order and then you walk away and then they stare at you
No.
all time.
Especially-
like, I'm gonna watch everything you do, and then when you start walking back, they're like, Oh shit, card ready.
But even more so when I've had to wait on you to look at the menu when you've had time to wait. So now I'm just like, oh, what can I get you? Oh shit. So now you're making me wait even more. Dude, have your fucking cards ready. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
But and we don't expect that things change overnight because of this podcast, but we're just gonna keep talking shit about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, have your fucking card ready. And also, do people not know how Apple Pay works?
No.
Which is beyond me because it's one of the most used forms of payment at one of my places. Actually, both places.
We actually just discontinued it.
Yeah, we
got rid of it.
People love that we use it, but they'll just like hand me their phone. I'm like,
have you done anything? Yeah, I had that happen yesterday.
I do the double click and I put it in their face like, all right, thank you.
I literally did that shit yesterday.
My God.
I did it just before I found out like, hey, we're not doing Apple Pay anymore because there was like some issues with the Apple Pay or whatever. Like, I don't understand why so many people are reliant on Apple Pay. To me, Apple Pay is like a last resort.
Yeah,
like I want to use my card. I want to use cash, obviously, whatever. But if I don't feel like pulling out my wallet and I want to use Apple Pay, one thing. But if I go to a bar, why would I want to hand you my phone? That's my life. And you're just handing it over. Hey, here, take everything. I don't even know my phone number. Here, take this. I'm trusting you with it. What if you drop the phone? Oh, you owe me a phone. I don't owe you shit.
Yeah.
You owe me $66.70 and you better not round up to 67.
Absolutely. If that were to happen and I drop somebody's phone and be like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not paying for your shit.
So awkward.
Should use your card.
It's very awkward.
Yeah.
I don't understand
I'm gonna be
why
like,
people are so
bad.
comfortable with that. If it's one thing if you have Apple Pay and the terminal's in front of you, or you have one of those contactless or one of those handhelds.
Yeah, that's
something like
for
that.
Sure.
I get that. But if you have to hand me your phone over a bar, because I'm telling you,
we don't want to hold
reach,
your phone. We don't. That's too much responsibility.
Yeah,
and
I don't even want to touch you, let alone your phone. It's just being real, man. Because a lot of people don't wash their hands and they're touching their phone while they're in the bathroom and all this other shit, and then they come back out and they're like, gross. Hey, here's my fucking phone.
That's covered in piss.
I don't want to fucking touch your phone.
Ass.
Like, no, come on, man. Bring your card with you, just like you would bring your ID. The amount of people who come out and they're like, oh, I don't have a card. Then why are you here? Why are you here?
Put a pin on that. I'm going to come right back to that.
All right.
One more thing about the Apple Pay is...
Well, we're literally talking about it now while you're putting a pin in it.
Oh, what you just said, the ID.
Okay.
So one more thing about the Apple Pay is people seem to argue with me about how it works. I'm no Apple genius. I just know you had to double click it first and put in your code in order for it to bring up the reader. People will hand me like just the card screen where it shows their transactions. And I'm like, double click it. They're like, no, you got to hold it to the reader first. And in my mind, I'm like, no, you have to double click it. Yeah. I remember one person specifically was like, no, you got to hold it to the reader first. I'm like, no. Yeah, it's going to bring up the prompt, but you say, oh, to put your code in. Fucking put your code in first, please.
Yeah, that's why you have the double click.
Exactly. So that's kind of what the whole premise of this whole Apple Pay thing was for me, that people don't understand it. And I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'm just going to go do that and hand it right back to you like I said I would. When people just hand it to me, I'm like, I just double click for them. Like, I'm not wasting no fucking time. You're clearly an idiot. You don't know how Apple works.
I had that happen not yesterday, like I said earlier. It actually happened the day before. Someone handed me their phone and they hadn't double clicked it. They had just pulled up their cards, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the reader. I'm like, they didn't double click it. And I literally went up and put it right in her face like this. And she like looked like, what the fuck? And I was like, and they just walked away. Didn't say any words. Came back. Here's your phone. There's no interaction with people anymore. That like the people who like to use Apple Pay that way, they're usually the ones who they don't want to make eye contact, want to have a conversation with you, socially awkward stuff like that. I understand it can be a little intimidating when you go to a bar, and especially if you don't go out much and you don't know what to order, you don't know cocktails like that. I get it. A lot of social anxiety involved, but at the same time, we're still talking to another person. At least make the eye contact. Let's slowly speak to each other. Don't talk over me. Talk all fast.
Don't tell me. Can I get a vodka soda? Tequila sunrise. Can I get a vodka soda? Can I get a vodka soda?
And they're like looking at their phone. Can I get a vodka soda?
The fucking music is loud as shit here. Huh?
Okay, but one thing that's been bugging me for a while is the people when they come up to order and they lean over the bar, talk to you. I'm like, bro, you can stay back.
Yeah.
I don't need you all up in my. Like, back up, back the fuck up. I can hear you if you speak up. You don't have to get that close.
You don't.
Yeah.
But to circle back to the ID thing, I was talking to one of the security guards at one of my spots, and he was telling me how somebody had forgot their ID, and they wanted to use like some fucking, I think they birth certificate. Their birth certificate. First of all, phone keys wallet.
Even have that?
Phone keys wallet. When you leave the house, that should always. I don't care who you are, what you do. Phone keys wallet. Whatever order that is for you, or if you're driving, phone keys wallet. I'm just saying. But they were arguing with him, saying like, "Oh, but it's a form of identification." No, you need your photo. We need a photo ID. Like
not the last DMV, where you gonna pull out your social security card next?
Right?
Hey man, this proves who I am.
Hey, here's my Costco membership card. This is me.
Okay, I can deal with a Costco membership.
Does that one have an ID? Does that have
a picture on it?
Oh, does?
Yeah,
okay, never mind. All right, well, here's my Target card.
But don't try to pay with your Costco card. I can't tell you the amount of times I've had someone hand me their Costco card to pay, and then like I go to and I come back and I'm
credit
like,
cards, right?
No, they're literal Costco membership cards.
Oh shit.
They're legit Costco. Hey, because you know Costco won't let you in without a card. That's why I won't go.
So how do you get a membership if you can't get in without a membership? That's a paradox.
Oh, you walk up and you tell them, "Hey, I want to get a membership."
Oh, I've always wondered
they
that.
let you into the side entrance.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
There's a dark alley and everything.
I've always wondered, like, how am I supposed to get a membership if you won't? How can I get inside the club to get a membership? You won't let me in. I'm still outside. Sorry to cut you off.
That's why you're so mad?
That's why I'm so mad. Like, I'm just trying to get a membership, but you won't let me in.
I just want a hot dog.
Can't get past the Costco bouncer, bro. They're on it. Laser vision.
You could have 50 people walking in at the same time. They're like, no. I haven't seen any of you. Hold up, bro. They're worse. They're like the anti-Walmart greeter.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to come in here, you got to go through me. Walmart greeters are like, what's up, man? How you doing?
Cool. Yeah, Costco's on it.
Costco is definitely on it. Costco is definitely on it, man.
But make sure you have your shit, because if you pull up and paid $45 for an Uber, drove an hour to get here, and we don't let you in, that's on you. Oh man, you're not gonna let me in? I drove 45 minutes to get here. I spent $50 in Uber, and you're not gonna let me in? No, because you should be a fucking adult and make sure you have your identification and forms of payment. That's on you. That's on you, big fella. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but that's on you. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna let you in because the furthest I think I've gone is somebody was like really cool and chill about it. They're like, man, look, and I do a picture of my ID. I'm like,
I see people do that all the time, but
I let one person slide. I let one person slide.
For that is, if you have a picture of your ID, why don't you have your ID? I don't know. I've never ever in my life taken a picture of.
I've let one person slide, and this was like, I'm like, yeah, fuck, whatever. We're not that busy anyways. Come on in.
No, I see it all the time here, and security will let them in. But I'm like, dude, I've worked in places like when I lived in Washington, you can't get in with a photo ID. And I mean, with a photo of your photo ID, like a copy of a copy. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't let you in with that. So I don't understand why that's so. Okay here.
Like, passports are cool.
Cali don't give a fuck.
That's fine. That's an official government document. Passports are cool, but do not get mad at the door people for not letting you in for being incompetent.
Don't be upset because the person doing their job is doing their job correctly and you didn't come prepared.
Yeah,
sorry, man. Just
not
make sure you have all your shit before you leave the house.
Phone, keys, wallet.
Yeah.
Check your pocket. Check your purses. Whatever. I know girls put shit in their bras, but check your fucking bras. Make sure you got your shit.
I mean, I can check your bra if you want. I can look for an ID. I don't mind.
I fucking hate that bra money.
I love it.
I don't. Yeah. I don't like it. It's gross.
Yeah,
to me, it's gross.
I love bra money.
And more power to you. But if I see you going in like this, I'm gonna say no. Respectfully, no.
Especially if they hand me bra money and it's rolled up. You've already done the work for me.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no because you've been dancing and so I'm good. I don't know you.
My friends out there know what I mean. That's a 2-for-1 right there.
Give you that one. Yeah, don't give me bra money. I'm gonna reject it. You can go with my coworker. They might take it. I'm not.
I will.
He will.
Gladly.
Give him your bra money.
Give me your bra. Just give me whatever you're willing to give me, you know? But if you give me bra money in front of your boyfriend, don't make it my problem. If you pull something out of your bra to hand to me, don't let him get mad about it. Like, you did that, you know?
And also,
I hate seeing couples argue at the bar.
Yeah.
Because it's so awkward.
I don't know. I kind of like watching that shit.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah, obviously I love watching.
It's like watching a tennis match. You're like,
oh, he won that one. Little. You're like, damn, she served
that
him.
happened. That happened last weekend.
Yeah,
this couple was arguing, and my coworker made a drink for them. So she comes over. She's like, "Hey, they're arguing over there, and they still haven't paid for their drink." I'm like, "All right."
That's what I mean by I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll go over there and I'm like, hey guys, is this your drink?" They're arguing. They had a friend behind them. And then he wasn't paying attention, so I just started taking it back. He's like, "Oh, that's mine." I'm like, "Okay, well, it's $14." He's like, "All right." I'm like, "Well, I need the payment now."
Yeah.
So I continue taking it, and his girlfriend was like, "Oh, he thinks you to pay." So he's like, "Oh, how much is it?" Ran the card, this and that. And as I'm running the card, I'm like, "Man, they're arguing." He's in a bad mood. I'm like, "Damn, I'm not gonna get a tip from this." So I hand it back, and this and that. After they got done arguing, he signed it and left. I'm like, "Oh, cool. He left $2. Cool." Hey,
he didn't take it out on me. He didn't take it out on you. Don't take it out on us.
Don't take it out
on us.
We're
innocent bystanders.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what conversation you're having. Your drink's been sitting here and you have not paid for it. I'm going to interrupt and try to be as polite as I can. Be like, "Hey guys, in some way or form, be like, is it yours? I need a payment," something like that. I don't care. If you're actively ignoring me too, I'm going to take it away. Because there are people that will do that as a bit where they'll pretend not to hear, and then hopefully you'll go away. Not me. I'm gonna sit here, stand like this, and look at you.
Yeah.
And wait and say, "Hey, I need payment," or something like that. Like, "This is yours," and then I'm gonna take it away.
I will make more of a scene because, excuse me, I will not only sit there and wait. I will look at other people and let them know you're waiting because of them.
Yeah,
I gotta be like, "Hello," and then I point at them. I'm waiting.
I've done that too.
Them.
Happened this past weekend.
You want me to get to you? Tell them to hurry the fuck up. Because I can't leave them, because what if I walk away to go help you and they walk away from the bar?
Yep, that's happened a couple of times all the time. At the start of my bartending career, and I'm like, no, I don't care. It's happened.
It happened to me this week.
It happened on Sunday where we were super packed and this person was like yapping, and somebody was trying to order. I'm like, literally same motion. I was like, I need their payment. They're like, "Yeah, but I'm like, I need their payment first. I'm sorry."
Their payment. You want to drink,
I waited, and
I need their payment. I mean, I'm not paying for their fucking drink.
So then everybody around them kind of just started looking at them like, "Hurry the fuck up." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's right.
Motherfucker.
Get him.
Peer pressure's a motherfucker. If you want me to help you, remind the person in front of me how unimportant they are to you. Because it's my job to make them feel important. Maybe they feel too important right now. You need to remind them.
Revolves around them.
I also need to make you feel important too, and you don't feel important because you're waiting, and it's their fucking fault. Go talk to them.
That ain't my fault.
Please go talk to them. Like, "Hey, man, can someone hand him a fucking card? I need a drink." You know what I mean? Like, come on, man, help me out.
The plot twist to that story was, so you had the couple there and their friend. So the couple was arguing. I assume they were. And
these days, nobody is.
They go off in their own way, and the dude leaves, I guess. He came back eventually. But then I see the friend and then the girlfriend were dancing on the dance floor. Like,
plot twist.
Damn.
Holy shit.
So she brought the side piece or whatever.
The body wasn't even cold.
Nah, they were arguing whatever with their separate ways, and he was there dancing with the friend. I was like, damn. I knew they were friends because they all came together. I'm like, damn. Well, maybe they're a throuple. Who the fuck knows? But I was just like, damn.
I told you what happened last night. That birthday party or birthday group or whatever came in, and I watched the birthday boy make out with like half the people in his crew, and it was a mixture of men and women. And then I watched these other two girls make out with other girls and guys in the group, and I'm like, is this a sex party? Is this the pregame for the sex party?
Yeah.
I didn't get invited to that one. I would have went. The last one I got invited to, I was like, nah, man, I don't trust y'all like that. This one, they look more fun. They look my speed. I'm like, all right, I mean, I might sit in the corner and watch. Like, I don't know you that well. I'll sit in the corner and watch.
Oh man. But yeah, to kind of wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
You said to wrap this up.
After sex partying, then I say to wrap it. Nothing. You got nothing for me?
Nobody wraps it up at a sex party.
I expected more from you.
So does everyone who's ever been with me. So I'll leave you just as disappointed as the rest of them.
Yeah, if you're gonna go to the bar and argue and shit too, I'm gonna stand there and watch. I'm actually gonna listen in and be like, "Oh yeah, no, he's right. No, she's got a point." I'm gonna instigate until I get my fucking money.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes
you got an audience.
Sometimes my honesty kind of gets me in trouble because people will ask me a question thinking like I'm gonna pick a side and pick their side or whatever, and I'll tell them straight up, nah, I side with them. And then if they make a good point, I'd be like, nah, I side with them. Like I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like,
I side with whoever's paying because they had to sign the gratuity and everything else. That's who I side with.
I usually
my first question is like, who's paying?
Yeah, I usually try to lean that way, but the thing is, you don't know who's gonna pay. You can't make that assumption when I don't ask.
Like, who's paying?
I don't ask shit.
Damn, okay.
I'm gonna watch y'all duke it out, and if you ask me to mediate, I'll mediate, and then I'll be like, all right, so who's paying? It worked for me last night. Both people tipped me while going at it or whatever, and both of them tipped. One tipped on one round, one tipped on the other, and then they both tipped on the next round. They were trying to show each other up. I was like, yo, throw all this money at me, baby. You go ahead. I'll take it.
I like it. They're trying to one up each other. It is fun to watch couples argue.
It's just fun to watch couples.
Especially when it's slow. It's people watching.
It's fun.
One of the best parts of the job is people watching.
To watch couples. And that's our show for this week.
I'm going to go to work now. Everybody.
Peace.